we have got an amazing panel now, female leadership in the European cultural puzzle. And I'm supposed to do something like that. Our female leaders will delve into the subtle tensions and challenges faced in intercultural management. The purpose of this talk is to inspire and reaffirm the importance of inclusive leadership in navigating cultural diversity and fostering a collaborative environment. So I'm just going to introduce our brilliant panel. Carine Jean-Jean, VP Brand and Communications, RTL AdAlliance. Nicole Haman, VP Global Sales, RTL AdAlliance. Ramona Hazan, founder, Ramona's Kitchen. And Sophie Fraser, international client partner, Arena Media. I'm just going to wait for a few more people to come and sit down. I've already said this to Ramona, her hummus is the best hummus in town. Jalapeno and red pepper, those two. So I'm just going to invite my wonderful panellists to come and sit down. I'll do it again. Carine Jean-Jean, VP of Brand and Communications, RTL AdAlliance. Nicole Haman, VP Global Sales, RTL AdAlliance. Ramona Hazan, founder, Ramona's Kitchen. And Sophie Fraser, international client partner, Arena Media. An amazing panel. Thank you. I'm going to do my last ad break for Ramona's jalapeno and red pepper hummus, two separate ones, and all their products. And I'm going to hand over to the panel. Thank you.
Thank you. Hi everyone. Thank you for attending this new session. So I'm Carine Jean-Jean, I'm VP Communication and Brand for RTL AdAlliance, and I have the great pleasure today to host this female leadership panel around the European cultural puzzle. So I'm super...
Can I just help you? I was going to say...
So collaboration, women support. So I'm thrilled to share the stage with three wonderful women with me today. Three exceptional women. I will start with Sophie. Sophie, she's the international client partner at Arena Media. She's working since 15 years in the media and marketing industry. She's in charge of global media and marketing campaigns at Havas for clients like JBL and Hyundai. Previously, you worked for Zenith as global business partner, and Sophie is super engaged in innovation and diversity and launched recently a placement program, which she will talk about in a minute. So please welcome Sophie. Then we have Nicole Haman, my dear colleague, VP Global Sales at RTL AdAlliance. She's driving international digital sales and international expansion for RTL AdAlliance. Previously, Nicole succeeded as the founder of the video platform United Screens in Sweden. And she was also head of sales at Google Sweden. Her motto in life is, I never lose, I either win or I learn. So please welcome Nicole.
Thank you.
Last but not least, sitting next to me, Ramona Hazan, founder of Ramona's #1 hummus company in the UK. Ramona is the face, the mind, and the soul behind the hummus success story Ramona's. She comes from the South Mediterranean family. She's South African and built her business in the UK. She's not only passionate by food, but also passionate by caring and sharing. She's also super engaged in delivering a brand that stands out of the crowd and that people love. And she's now also an influencer and a TV star, on ITV. And her brand identity, the brand identity of Ramona, is super bold, fitting perfectly to MadFest because it's really boldly pink and yellow. So welcome,
they chose
Ramona.
our brand colors.
Please welcome Ramona. So just a short word on why we wanted to have this conversation today and share it with you. So just a short word about me. I come from RTL Group, so I've done all my career at RTL Group, which is the leading media company in Europe for broadcasting. And so we represent 150 TV channels in Europe, in 12 countries, and we work daily with about 300 colleagues from Europe and the US. So being part of this multicultural international company was really a chance for me to grow in this company. And I really felt like being a woman in this company has never been a challenge or a problem to evolve in my career. So I felt that I feel lucky because that's not always the sound that you can hear, and that's also depending on the country where you do your career. It could be different and more or less challenging. So that's also the topic that we wanted to raise, because you all three come with a really multicultural background. So the question here really openly is, does the female leadership, has it something to do with the country you are based, or is it a mindset question? So this is an open question, and we'll go into it, and we'll start right now with the definition of what is a female leadership for you. So Ramona, what does it mean for you?
I think it's two things. One is confidence. It just needs to be the biggest thing that we talk about. And the other one is decision making. It's being brave enough to say, I'm confident in my abilities, in my decision to be here. I'm confident to be telling you things, and I'm making decisions, and sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong, and that's okay.
Nicole?
Yeah, exactly, because then you learn, right? And then you move forward. So if you're going to stick to two things, for me it's a team sport, right? We're in it all together. It's not a one-man show. It's not about that, but also it's a matter of grit. So a little bit on your topic. To be grit, nothing is served in life, regardless of gender, I think. But if you have grit, you can think about it, what is the next step? Why did what happened? Analyze it, but then just pull through. And I think this, the grit is the good way of actually, mold it, what we need to pull through.
Like perseverance, right?
Yes. Yes.
Great. And Sophie? What does it mean for you?
I think for me it's about being completely authentic. I was very nervous to be on this stage with everyone. And I think it's just being very authentic, open, honest, and also supporting other people. So we only got to where we are because of someone gave trust and saw something in us. So it's always about giving back to other people as well.
So coming on the next question, on what was your career path to become a female leader? What has it been complicated to become who you are and being authentic and build your career while being a woman? Do you think it was more challenging, or what was your career path, Ramona?
Well, I mean, I fell into the leadership. I was just making hummus in my kitchen 20 years ago. I mean, it was a magic mix, and there was no leadership, there was no growth plans, I was just trying to get a business off the ground, I guess. And I sort of molded into that, and then, as you say, take that once you've created a leadership decision and you are that leader, then, of course, becoming a role model in that way. I never thought about being a woman. It never came up in my mind. It just didn't stop me, because I had maybe a disproportionate amount of self-esteem and thought, stuff it, I can do this. Doesn't matter if I'm right or wrong, whether it was delusional or not, I'm not sure yet, but it doesn't matter is the point. I think the point for me was always, it doesn't really matter, it's in our heads. We just have to push through it and move forward.
Okay. Sophie, how was it for you?
So I rose up through different agencies.
Yes.
So I think sometimes you've got to find your own style and voice. There's always a lot of egos in agencies, if I'm allowed to say that. So it's just making sure that you're kind of having your own opinions, being bold enough to say them, and finding some power in your own voice.
So did you feel that being a woman was more complicated to navigate in this agency world? Or?
Not all the time, and definitely not these days, but I think there has been moments where I've had to speak a little bit louder in certain situations. So, yeah. But now I feel quite confident.
Okay. What about you, Nicole?
So I started this industry in agency world as well, and believe it or not, the title was TV assistant, so you can imagine how old I am. It was Dentsu, so I was there for 8 years, and after 3 months I was doing quite redundant work. Let's not get into it because then the story will be super long. But and the CEO came to me and tapped me on my shoulder and said, "So what are you doing?" And it's like, "Yeah, I manually enter all the programs that are gonna be on TV in like 6 weeks." And he was like, "Oh, okay." And you know what? That's like such a cool thing to do because I know everything, so I know what to talk about all the parties I'm going to. And he looked at me, he's like, "You're too good to this. Now you go to planning." And then I think that also to your point, you know, voicing it, maybe not only loudly, but clearly. If you see something that inspires you, especially another woman in the workplace, you know, how can I copy, paste, and improve that, right? And that's what took me forward, and I ended up being leading the AV team back then, and then Google called, and then I wrote an essay of starting my own business, which I can relate to, and I jumped the ship from Google and started United Screens that RTL bought. And I'm here in panel. I'm being a little bit nervous, but thank you for the support. I see some nice colleagues, but I think owning it and asking for it clearly, that is, I think.
And I'm sure you'd agree, you can also show it in actions. It doesn't have to be in voice. It doesn't always have to be in that confidence. It can also just be in doing brilliantly, working hard, and actually somebody taps you on the shoulder and goes, "Oh, good job." You know, it can't be missed.
Totally. So, Nicole, coming to the multicultural aspect we were mentioning in the introduction, you come from Sweden, and then you moved to England. What differences could you perceive, if there is a difference, in female leadership? Because I know in Sweden, the rate of working women is higher than in average Europe. So how can you explain that? And do you see a difference?
Yeah, so we are very fortunate in Sweden. We don't have, for example, private schools, right? So everybody has the same entry point to learning about life. I guess that's what schools should be. And also when you become a parent, you get automatically 480 days paid leave, right? And that is both for parents, so both for a man and a woman, commonly. So it's 480 days, which means, and you know, and if you don't take it as a man, okay, you get,
It looked at funny, going, "What's wrong with you? Don't you love your children?"
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my boyfriend is Portuguese, and when he came to Sweden, he said, "Wow, there's so many male nannies in Sweden." Like, no, they're actually the husbands with the children. So I think in Sweden, you know, we are born into a more equal view without not feeling ladylike or male, I think. Yeah. Okay, now I'm circling back to the differences, yes. I think that because of size, I mean, I think that Sweden is smaller in people than London itself. So I think I can sense some differences of more assertiveness and more individuality. And I think that is a way of kind of standing out in the crowd compared to Sweden.
Okay. Sophie, you also work in a multicultural environment, so how can you feel the differences with the different countries you are dealing with and the different teams you are dealing with? Do you see differences?
Yeah, so in my career I've worked with like most markets. I've worked in everywhere from Korea to EMEA markets, and there's some real stark differences. And I think the first thing is listening, really trying to understand, for me, the clients that I'm working with, understand their point of view, and then also make sure that you're willing to adapt as well. The same presentation for France will not go down the same in Korea. So it's really making sure making sure that you're adapting to your client's needs, and then always looking for feedback as well. So one of the biggest things recently and in the last few years is really trying to have a two-way conversation with people and clients to say, like, how did it land and was it culturally relevant as one of your questions?
And in terms of female leadership, do you see any differences or not so much?
Sometimes when we've worked with our Korean clients, there is a bit more of a hierarchy in that market. And so it's being mindful of cultural differences, but also I would sometimes go into rooms and speak first to our female clients and ask them their opinion, because I want everyone to have a voice.
Okay. Ramona, your story, you founded your own company, right? So your challenges were more linked to the fact that you were raising a company and growing a company. And now you're also looking for growing it outside of the UK. So what are your challenges on your daily basis, and also dealing with work-life balance, having a family at the same time as having your own company? How is it?
I mean, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend entrepreneurship and motherhood and running a factory. I just don't recommend it. I think the biggest hardship is the problems come, and they come from the business is another child. Then you've got two at home. And what always happens is the machines break at the factory on the same day that the school phones and goes, this one's fallen off the jungle gym, has cut their head, you need to take them to A&E. It's always the same day. In 21 years, it was never on a separate day. But, you know, you have to make choices, and that's the hardest part. It's who gets let down, the business or the children. Oftentimes it's the children. Sad but true. You know, you're responsible for a lot of people's livelihoods. That's a thing. Sometimes it was, let's fix the fridge, and the child needs a paracetamol, gets sent back to school no matter what. But overall, I think the biggest challenges are just knowing within yourself that you can't do both. You are one or the other, and at any one time. You have to live with that fact and not feel guilty, and explain to the kids. I've got two teenage girls. That's probably why I spend so much time at work, I mean. But tell the teenagers, we're all sacrificing something for this business, but you will benefit from it later. And I serve as a role model to you in terms of working, and you see the products on the shelf. That gives you a bit of pride. Now you know what it takes.
And you feel it's more complicated because you're a woman, or how do you split the work with?
Well, no, but I'll tell you this. So I think everyone sacrifices.
Yeah. Okay.
Men and women equally. However, the school never phones my husband. Ever. I even tell them to. Why don't you phone the second number first? Just occasionally, just phone that one. Why always me? But it is what it is. And
okay.
I mean, it just is what it is.
Okay, Sophie, we mentioned the mentorship program you raised. Why did you feel it was important for you to this program? What is it concretely, and why did you decide to do it?
So I've started a program with the University of the Arts that's based in Canterbury. I noticed that I actually came through a sandwich course when I first started out. And for Arena Media in particular, we're really looking to get creative young minds into the industry. Not specifically someone that's been on a media course or a business course. It's someone that is thinking in a slightly different way. So we're working with visual communication students to give them a chance to get into the industry. I wanted to do something to give back. Okay. And at a certain point, I think it's really important to bring kind of new minds in and give people that maybe might not have had the opportunity. Over 50% of the people on this course are from disadvantaged backgrounds, so it's a foot into the media industry and also giving them some experience.
Well, congratulations for that.
So impressive.
Yeah,
Really amazing.
Ramona, as an entrepreneur, you don't have any corporate initiative supporting you. So who is your mentor? Who was supporting you to give you the strength to do what you do?
Ironically, it was my husband. He's been very, very supportive from day one when we had bowls of chickpeas around the little flat, or even now when we, thank God, don't have them anymore. I think that is, but I think the most important thing is that it's somebody who's a cheerleader rather than a mentor. Because everyone has bad days. Everyone's got something going on every day. It's all different for all of us. You need cheerleaders. You need to phone someone and go, shit, this is not gonna work. And somebody has to go, straighten your crown, queen, get your shit done. You need those people around you. And if you haven't got them, find them, because otherwise it's very, very difficult and very lonely at the top.
Okay. You know? I think we have only 1 minute left, so I have one final question. What is the advice you would give to female, would you give to become a female leader? Do you want to start?
I will be short. Call shit out. When things don't resonate with you, you know, take the time to talk to a colleague or your boss or your manager, and, you know, ask. If it doesn't resonate with you, you feel, you know, not well treated because of your gender. Call it out.
Sophie?
Mine's quite simple as well, and I need to listen to my own advice, but believe in yourself a bit more and give things a go.
Ramona?
For me, it's you're the only person standing in your way. Literally, you're the only one. There is no one else in your way. Just go. Don't be scared. Make decisions. Have confidence. Straight back. Confidence.
Thank you so much for this inspiring talk. Thanks for being so honest and direct. Thank you.
Thank you.